So Leslie Hedland, the brilliant writer behind this, has recently come out to set the record straight for why the abysmal failure that was The Acolyte was not greenlit for a second season. I mean, I thought the answer was pretty obvious. Hundreds of millions of dollars being put into product only to garner mediocre viewership numbers. But apparently there's an ultra conspiracy going on for why The Acolyte was canceled. Within the interview, Leslie starts by saying, "The writing was on the wall. It could have been worth it to allow the audience it was meant for to find it." Yes, unfortunately, the crowd that Leslie wanted for this show was hibernating when The Acolyte was released, I guess. Either that or this imaginary group of people forgot their Disney Plus login from June 4th to July 16th. Leslie actually lists two major examples for the cancellation of The Acolyte's second season. The first reason why The Acolyte failed is because of the online space, which, according to Leslie, is filled with some respectable folk, but others are racist, fascists, and snake oil salesmen. And Disney, unfortunately, treats this space as the prime focus group for whether a Star Wars show should be greenlit for a second season or canned, which is, kind of a funny perception on why this TV show failed to me. Yes, it's because me and a bunch of other woman-hating racist alpha chads made anti-Acolyte content, thus preventing a second season. You're welcome, everyone. Jokes aside, I highly doubt online discourse is the end-all be-all for a TV show when Disney clearly favors numbers over anything. As long as enough people are watching, the negative reviews ultimately don't matter that much. I would love if my videos had that much pull, because I know what good writing is and what isn't, and everyone has to like what I like or they're stupid and low IQ, but that's just not reality. Unfortunately, geniuses such as myself have to share our correct opinions in an empty room. Another argument Leslie makes is that The Acolyte was already at risk for failure because it's not part of the Skywalker saga. It operated without stormtroopers, rebels, Empire imagery, or anything from the original trilogy. Essentially, it lacks any classic Star Wars hooks. The most annoying aspect is Leslie insinuating Andor only did well because that show had the luxury of relying on references to politics and war, along with stormtroopers. And the creator of Andor, Tony Gilroy, did a great job exploiting those themes. Wait, so you mean to tell me that Tony Gilroy took a Star Wars product, made something unique and interesting with it, and it ended up being good? Holy shit, you have the capabilities of doing the exact same thing with the High Republic era. What the fuck is your excuse again? Oh, well, you know, Andor had Tony Gilroy, and he knows what he's doing, so that's why Andor wasn't canceled and The Acolyte was. Okay, so if you're a good writer, you make good quality content, and people want more of it. What a brain-bursting concept. While Andor takes place during the Skywalker timeline, it's also a show with zero lightsabers, very dialogue-heavy, and more of a spy thriller than a gigantic galactic battle or the classic Jedi vs. Sith story. Andor is different enough for me to separate it from the usual shtick that Star Wars produces. I mean, the main hook was Cassian Andor, the main character in Rogue One, and if we're being honest with ourselves, the main cast of characters in that movie wasn't the main reason why people liked Rogue One. Nobody watched Andor just for references, or were hooked in because herder stormtroopers. Maybe it's because Andor is well written or something, but no, that can't possibly be it. Now, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the references from The Acolyte that could definitely serve as hooks for nostalgia bait, or to just simply pull in viewers. Well, you have lightsabers, a bunch of them, it's lightsabers galore, the Jedi Order, Coruscant, classic Jedi vs. Sith story, an Immaculate Conception, just like how Anakin was created, and cameos of characters from the prequel trilogy. But apparently Leslie had the obstacle of hooking viewers into a show with zero references. I won't pretend that a show not revolving around a beloved character from the original or prequel trilogy isn't going to automatically garner extra views for the first two episodes, but it's also not impossible to engage an audience with new ideas and new characters. Before The Mandalorian became just straight up fan service, it raked in a strong loyal fan base with a completely new character within its first season. Huh, it's as if people liked the first season of The Mandalorian because it was well written and entertaining. and interesting. And what's this? The show takes pre-established lore and actually expands upon that lore while not pissing on it? You mean to tell me The Mandalorian and Andor did something different but still satisfied fans? What could possibly be their secret? When The Acolyte first premiered, it garnered over 11 million views on Disney Plus within its first 5 days of streaming. For reference, Ahsoka obtained around 14 million views within the first 5 days of streaming on Disney Plus. The numbers are telling me people were hooked. You were able to grab the attention of viewers nearly on the same level as another show about a character that's extremely mainstream and beloved. The High Republic has a lot of potential. I know it's not a super popular era, but you had the chance to bring more attention to it. Some of the comics, for example, are pretty decent, but I'd like to see the High Republic expanded upon more, and clearly many others were interested, considering the amount of people that tuned in for the first 2 episodes. Yet, viewership dropped heavily as The Acolyte continued, meaning the excuse that you didn't have a hook is bullshit, and the problem is the show itself being unable to keep viewers watching because of the garbage writing. But the moral of the Acolyte cancellation story is, Leslie Hedland is wrong again, this show is objectively shit, and if you want to revive the High Republic era, don't belittle your fans and actually write something good.